Councillor Crawford to speak.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I want to thank the City Manager for bringing forward an incredibly honest, transparent and real report. I know we've had reports and advice like this similar in previous years and councils, but maybe the fact that we have a City Manager who's coming from the outside and having an objective look at how we run things will maybe make us listen a little bit more and approve all of the recommendations here. We definitely need to have a proper discussion on the long-term fiscal health. We've had a lot of discussion and a lot of debate, and I'm sure there'll be other councillors after me talking about revenue tools. Listen, I'm glad revenue tools are on the table, but that's about it. They are not my focus right now, and they're not going to be the focus of my remarks. My remarks are focused on the other 5 recommendations that I think are the key elements of a long-term financial strategy and our health. Once we get those right, we can look and we can talk about the revenue tools. We need to grow up and mature as a city. Now, that's not necessarily a criticism, but it's an opportunity for growth and it's an opportunity for change. We have hundreds of exceptional and competent people working to keep us afloat financially. The City Manager and the DCMs work incredibly hard, and as do other people, and I want to commend them for the work that they do. But as the City Manager said, we have been relying too long on the good fortunes of the land transfer tax and decreased social welfares, year over year, to balance our budgets. We need to start acting the size that we are. Over $11 billion operating and, of course, $3 billion of capital makes us the 6th largest budget in the country. But when you look at our governance and our decision-making processes, I think we look at ourselves as a small municipality. We are not. And when we look at how we use information and analytics to drive fiscally responsible, we are woefully behind, and that's why I'll be supporting Councillor DiCiano's amendment. When you look at other government budgets of comparable size, they have full-year, multi-year budgeting and targets. Now, I recognize there are certain aspects of multi-year budgeting that are out of our control, and I recognize that multi-year planning was not a priority in the last term, but we need to make that a priority moving forward. We need to set priorities, including service delivery, that is based on outcomes. It's not just about adding new services year after year, but it's about looking at what services work well, what can be improved, and what can be improved at less cost. We need to strengthen our financial management and oversight of city programs and agencies. Listen, it boggles my mind as the budget chief when I see some of the most expensive budget lines, whether it's TTC, police, Toronto Community Housing. We have very limited ability to look deep into the respective budgets during the budget process. That's not acceptable at all. We need a multi-year expenditure management plan, not just this year-by-year targets that sometimes seem that we're just making them up. We need to modernize processes, improve productivity, embed efficiencies to achieve excellence in service delivery. We have some divisions, and I saw that in the last year's budget, that are doing incredible work on all of those, but we need to do more across the entire system. The city must maintain a fundamental focus on responsible and effective expense management. We must continue to explore efficiencies and cost reduction in order to create resources for other investment opportunities. To suggest that we have found everything is absolutely not responsible. Of course, we also need to look at our asset monetization, which is one of the other recommendations. Madam Speaker, I support recommendation number 6 as well that was added at Executive to prepare fiscal impacts for standing committees for each council. I received those as part of my responsibility as chair, seeing the fiscal impacts that come from committees before they come to council. We need to all have a look at that when you kind of realize the amount of money we're spending without any sort of fiscal oversight. It's quite interesting. So all these recommendations, 1 to 3, 5 and 6, I think are critical and important as we move forward. Once we get those correct, once we look at those, I think we can have the discussion of revenue tools. So I'll be supporting all the recommendations, hoping that when we get everything back on everything else other than revenue tools, we'll be able to make the proper decisions for the residents and the businesses of the city. Thank you.
Thank you.